now I'm going to use a gloss medium, and gloss medium is almost as thick as a matte medium, not quite. It's a beautiful surface. I really like some of the things that happen with gloss medium. Matte medium, like I said, the paint just sits there. It does what you tell it to do, and it sits there. With the gloss medium, that doesn't happen. The paint does what it wants to do, which is fun. But the other thing about the gloss medium is it's more difficult to handle when you're trying to collage with it. We'll get to that in a minute, but I do want to let you know that. Now, that's the upside and the downside. So I'm going to put some gloss medium out here. And you're going to see that I don't really need to spread it out. It's going to spread out all by itself and go where it wants to go. It'll get a little bit thinner as time goes. Now these will move for hours, so you have to be cognizant of that. You have to make sure that you have them in a space that they're not going to get on anything, because they will move for hours. Don't just think you can go off and leave it for a couple days and come back without having checked on it. After the first 2 hours, you're going to know where the medium's going to go. But you just want to keep that in mind. So I'm going to maybe use a little bit more gloss medium. And we're going to do basically the same techniques, but I'm going to show you what the differences are. I'm going to use some different colors just because that's fun. I don't want to use the same colors over and over, so I'm going to go more with browns and golds, maybe a little buff, yellow. These are metallic colors. There's 4 or 5 of them, golds, coppers, and bronzes. They are awesome. I love them. They do great things with the mediums. They're just so much fun to work with. So I'm going to use several of the metallics. Okay, so we have burnt sienna, burnt umber light, naphthol red medium. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but yellow ochre, which is one of my very favorite colors, Hansa yellow light. Then this is an iridescent gold deep, iridescent gold fine, and iridescent copper fine. And I'm also going to get a white. Like I said, I don't use it often, but occasionally I will. And for a little bit of contrast and some darkness, I'm going to use a Payne's Gray and a Van Dyke Brown. So we're just going to drop the color in like we were before. Now I'm going to show you some of these because these take a couple of days to dry, 2-3 days, and we can't really sit here and watch them dry. So I'm going to show you some of these that I did last week and show you what I mean by the mediums making such a difference in what happens. So you can see already what difference there is in what's happening, because you can see that the colors are just spreading. They're not just sitting there like they did in the matte medium. They are going all over the place. And they're just going to keep doing that. Now, different colors react in different ways. Anytime you use a red or anything that's got a red to it, it is going to be probably spreading more than others because of the amount of pigment to the amount of medium. Anytime you have white in anything, like a yellow, it's going to be sitting there a little more. But you can see that these colors are really starting to move, and they're going to keep doing it. I like a lot of contrast, so you're using the dark for the contrast. Let's try some of this Titan Buff. Now the other thing you can do, which I'm not going to do right now because it takes a little bit of extra time, and I think that you can figure out how to do it, is mix the color with a medium in a paper cup or something like that, and then pour it with a base color. So you're taking the color, you're putting it in a cup with probably about, not that much, just enough to color the medium. You don't want to necessarily, you don't do it half and half. I would do mostly medium with just some color in it to give it a base color. So then you can put it down and you can drop colors on top of it. It'll act about the same way, but you won't have any white spaces. So you can see there's going to be a lot of white spaces in here, especially. And I'll show you some later that I did like that. But like I said, it takes a little more time, so I don't think I'm going to do that right now. So see how different that is? How different it reacts with the gloss medium as opposed to the matte medium? It's just a whole different thing. I really like that, so I don't think I'm going to do anything with it. I think I'm just going to leave it right the way it is.